Natural resources are everywhere, and I'm 95% sure you see at least 5 a day. What I'm trying to say is that natural resources are everywhere, and sometimes even in big cities. I know when I went to New York, I saw a couple of trees. Now, natural resources, whether in big cities or small towns, help us all in many ways. For example, they grow our food, provide us with clean air, and control pests. So today, we will go over 3 of the most common natural resources: soil, plants, and wild animals. So let's dig into it. Many natural resources exist today, but let's start with soil. Soil, commonly mistaken as dirt, is a natural resource that helps us in many ways. Soil helps us grow food, create clean air, and provide jobs. We need soil to grow crops, which help feed our nation and the world. Without soil, we would not be able to feed our world and grow the world's growing population. I mean, the U.S. alone is the #1 exporter of crops in the world. And in 2023 alone, we exported out $178.7 billion worth of agricultural goods. So it also provides clean air, since if there were no soil, plants could not grow, and we'd have no air to breathe. And lastly, soil brings many jobs and employs more than 1 billion people. Some examples of people who are employed because of the soil are farmers and ranchers. Farmers need the soil to grow their crops, which help feed our nation, and ranchers need the soil to graze their cattle, which also help feed our nation. Another natural resource that helps us in many ways is plants. Plants provide a lot for us in our communities, such as clean air, lumber, and once again, food. Plants provide us clean air through the process of photosynthesis, which is when plants convert sunlight, carbon dioxide, and water into food for the plants to use, and oxygen for us and all other living animals to breathe. Plants also provide us with lumber, but this main resource of plants comes from trees. To get lumber, we take lumberjacks that cut down the trees and ship the wood to lumber yards, which is then used to make furniture and houses. And for anyone worried about all those trees being cut down, there are many organizations out there that help replant the trees that have been cut down. So the cycle may continue. But the wood doesn't just benefit humans. Small animals like birds and squirrels also need the trees to live in. Now, the final way plants help us is by providing us with food. But not all food-producing plants are considered natural resources. Plants that have been genetically modified are not considered natural resources. But wild food-producing plants, like the wild strawberries and raspberries found in South Dakota, are considered natural resources. Now, on to our last natural resource of the day: wildlife, specifically wild animals. Though you may not think of wild animals as natural resources, they are, since they occur naturally and they're resources. Some things animals provide us with are pollination, pest control, and again, food. Beginning with pollination, many animals help pollinate our crops and wild berries. Animals like butterflies, hummingbirds, and bees are some of the most common pollinators. Without them, our crops would die. Though we may see bees as nuisances, they are needed to keep our agriculture thriving. We also need animals to control pests. Animals like toads, snakes, owls, and turkeys all work as a natural pest control. Toads and turkeys help control small pests that may damage crops or gardens. And I know one pest we all particularly hate is ticks. We all have a fear of finding one latched onto us. But if you keep turkeys around, you are less likely to encounter one, since turkeys are known to eat ticks when given the chance. Animals like owls and snakes are great at catching mice. So if you keep them around, you don't have to worry about those pesky mice eating through your grain bags. And lastly, wild animals provide us with food. Since hunting is very popular in South Dakota and many places in the Midwest, many people hunt these animals to eat them, since you typically can't find deer meat at your local grocery store. Other animals hunted for their meat can be buffalo, elk, and even bears. The lessons these natural resources teach us are balance. For example, if there were not enough snakes, the mouse population would be out of control, eat too many producers, and the ecosystem would fall apart. But these are only a few examples. But our world is currently using up too much of their natural resources, or you're destroying them altogether. Deforestation is destroying habitats for animals, and with every tree that is cut down without another one to replace it, the amount of clean air in our world is decreasing too. Our healthy soil is being burned beyond repair by forest fires. This needs to stop, or there will be no natural resources left to teach us these valuable lessons of balance and prosperity. So we need to take better care of our natural resources so they can take care of us in return. Thank you.